Meeting of June 24th. You could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Chairman, the first item of business is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item of business is the submission of minutes. We have the town council meeting minutes from June 3rd, as well as the executive session minutes from June 3rd.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is D1. This is Mary Ann Brandsmeyer for the Japan American Society of Rhode Island. This is a request for the mobile food establishment event permit for the Black Ship Festival to be held at Rockwell Park on Friday, August 14, 2026 from 6 to 9 p.m.
Based on all the positive recommendations, make a motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. May I suggest, if the council is amenable, that we combine D1, the item that we're on right now, along with D2, D3, D4, and F1.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, as stated. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. So I'm going to give Madam Clerk just a moment. We just combined all of these. Can you summarize that?
I can paraphrase them, yes.
And then we will ask, I'm going to ask if we could just have a motion on each. That way it's not up and down and up and down. So go ahead.
So D2 is for the same applicant for the Black Ship Festival, but this one is for the mobile food establishment on Saturday, August 15th from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. You want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
Okay. D3 is the same applicant also for the Black Ship Festival for the one-day dancing and entertainment to be held on Friday, August 14th from 6 to 9 at Rockwell Park. D4 is the same applicant also for the Black Ship Festival for a one-day dancing and entertainment license to be held on Saturday, August 15th from 10 to 3. And then F1 is Nicole Salter, and this is also for the Japan American Society of Rhode Island. This is the request to fly the Japanese flag during the 43rd anniversary of the Black Ship Festival at Independence Park and or Rockwell Park on August 14th through the 16th.
Motion to approve as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Amy, do we need a separate motion on all of this, or is that acceptable?
It's acceptable to do it all by one motion.
Outstanding. Any discussion from the council? Is Mary Ann here? This is your 30-second commercial, Mary Ann. Welcome.
Good evening, council members and Mr. Contente. My name is Mary Ann Brandmeyer, and I'm president of the Japan American Society. It is a great honor to be here with you and to support Bristol. You're very, very important to our organization. We enjoy being up here. We enjoy hosting the Black Ships Festival with you together because of Commodore Matthew C. Perry. He's very important, not only to us, but to the state as well as to Japan. We have a wonderful 3-day festival scheduled this year. So if you get a chance, please come by and see us on Friday night. Friday morning, we have our opening ceremony and followed by a VIP luncheon. And then Friday evening, we have the tackle drum performance over in Rockwell Park. Saturday, we have a lovely day scheduled from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we're booked this year, as you saw, with all of our vendors. So we have new vendors this year on both sides. So we're really excited about that. More importantly, we're excited for what we do for the residents, for the businesses, and for the many visitors that come to Bristol so that we can enhance that for you. The relationship we have with you is very important to us because we look for long-term relationships. And so it's with great honor that we could be here, sincerely. I mean that from my heart. I am leaving to go to Japan, and we have a delegation that's going to Japan that you're probably aware of, and we will be meeting with mayors from different towns together as we collaborate and work together with each other to benefit both our state, Bristol, and Japan. I want to thank you for giving me a little bit of time to talk to you. I have some sheets for you to see if you want to learn a little bit more. And we have a new website. Get a chance. It's blackshipsri.org. Check it out.
So I was just going to ask that. So if the public is interested to know more, when, where.
Oh, yes. So if you go to the old website, which is jasri.org, it will direct you to the new website. But you could, yes, we have the schedule up now. So please come see it, check it out, see the beautiful pictures from Bristol that are there from the past. We have more that'll be coming up. And I can only say thank you from the board directors and from the advisory board and everyone that comes to support. Thank you.
Outstanding.
This has been like a 8-year event now, hasn't it?
How long has it
Eight,
been?
9 years or
Is it
something?
It's been, I
14, I believe.
It's long.
14.
No, it's before the pandemic.
Yeah.
That we started, and everyone knows we're here. The feedback has been phenomenal. I've been getting all these emails, calls and texts saying, are you sure you're on? Where are you on? They all want to know what we're doing. And of course, we're not going to tell them until the event is here. But so it's a statewide event now
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
And people know, and because of where you are located, people can come from Massachusetts, they can come from Providence, they can come, from South County. So that the location is one, but it's the history of Bristol that brings them to. Jazz Festival, we fill the park every year for the Czech drummers, but last year we added the jazz group, and this year he's bringing more people with his band this year, so that it's going to be a little larger than it was last year. So we're really excited, and we're very happy to be able to support you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You should, let's talk to her about doing some PR for us. What do you say? Wow. And you're asking us for something.
When I'm
Outstanding.
in Japan,
No, I'm just joking.
I will tell you, when I'm in Japan, and Steve knows this, I talk about Bristol. I tell them about Bristol. I tell them what makes it the safest place to live. I tell them why it's special. I tell them about the 4th of July parade. They can't wait to march this year. And I apologize. I'll be in Japan. I won't be there, so I won't be able to celebrate our 250th because I'm very patriotic. But I talk about what we're doing. I talk about what you're doing, and it matters to them. And that relationship that we have with them is very important. So they listen and they remember. And I can't say enough about that. I know Steve has heard me say these things probably quite a few times when I tell him about it, but no, it's our honor and privilege to be here for all of you. And I hope you'll come and see us when we're here this summer.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Looking forward
Any
to
other
it.
discussion from the council? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
So Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D5. This is Karen Binder, Blythewald 101 Ferry Road. This is a request for modification to the dancing and entertainment license.
Hey, Karen. Karen, the high level change here is as follows.
Really just to make sure we're all inclusive with the events that we are planning for the upcoming year. When we first applied for the license last year, I was thinking more just about our Wednesday night concerts and our weddings. But we like to do entertainment in the winter and we want to have the flexibility to do music on Thursdays if it rains on Wednesday. So it's just trying to be more inclusive.
So the change or the new hours, we'll say, are Sunday through Saturday. Museum is 10 to 3, events 5 to 9:45/10:45. What's the distinction there on the 10:45?
That pertains to our weddings and our music. That was the agreement that we reached with the town many years ago for the noise ordinance.
I was there.
Yes, you were.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. Council?
Mr.
Based on the
Chairman,
positive
I'm sorry.
recommendations, I make a motion to approve. 3 years, no noise issues. So
Great.
you've been a great neighbor. So
I'm
see
sorry,
any
the
reason-
So
time
one
that,
second. So we had a motion made by Tim, seconded by Mary. Madam Clerk.
the time that you mentioned, I think you were looking at the previous hours because
Okay.
the new hours are 11 o'clock on
11
Friday,
o'clock.
Saturday.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
just want
That's
to
my
make
fault,
sure.
not yours.
Okay,
So
We still stop the music at 10:45.
okay.
don't change a thing. Okay, beautiful. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D6. This is Christopher Kerr from Tragmar Ale Works, 87-1 Gooding Avenue. This is a request for modification to the dancing and entertainment license.
Christopher? Guess what I'm going to ask you?
Good evening, Council.
It's nice to see you. So you're proposing, what are the changes again, just for the record?
So we're currently authorized till 8 p.m. Monday through Thursday to 9 p.m. Saturday, Sunday to 5 p.m. Friday, Saturday and 5 p.m. on Sunday. We're asking for one additional hour. So we have the flexibility potentially open to 9 p.m. during the week, Monday through Thursday, and then 10 p.m. Friday, Saturday, and 6 p.m. on Sunday. Yes.
Thank you. Council?
You want to make the all right. No noise issues. Thank you for being a good neighbor. All positive recommendations. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
The next item on the agenda is D7. This is Stephen Cavalieri, Cup Defenders Association, 230 Wood Street, request for modification of the dancing and entertainment license.
Hello, Steve.
Hi, how we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing all right.
So the change,
It's just we want to add on Friday, 8 to midnight, just for karaoke only. And keep the hours I have now.
everything else is the same. Okay. All right.
That's just for the outside? Is that
That's just for inside karaoke.
Council?
No noise complaints. All positive recommendations. Make a motion to approve. Thank you.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
The next item,
Be rude. I can't get onto our stuff, so I'm looking at it on my phone. So I don't want people to think I'm actually on the phone doing something else.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at the agenda through the phone because I can't get it on here. For some reason.
What's that? Resourceful, Mary.
Yep.
That's good.
Maybe.
The
Gotta
next-
always have a plan A, B, C, and D.
Yeah, that's good.
the next item on the agenda is D8. This is Rebecca Ernst from Pivotal Brewing Company, 522 Wood Street. This is a request for the modification to the dancing and entertainment license.
Hi, Rebecca.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Sorry, I didn't dress up for you today.
This time.
It's a
Right.
very busy day.
So tell us about the change.
So we are, we're not really modifying our hours that we're open. This would just be if we have, events outside of our normal business hours. So like a wedding reception or a brunch or something that someone comes in outside of our normal hours.
So this is kind of
It's just ad hoc. It's like-
forward thinking kind of.
Yeah, it's just to make sure we're covered in the case that we need it. Rather than having to do this last minute, we can just have it covered for the next year. And it's not, our normal hours were closed at 9 on the week during the week and 10 on the weekends. So it's pretty, it would just be put in a little later if we had, a wedding reception or an after party or, whatever.
Gotcha.
Definitely flexibility there. You
Yeah.
want that time flexibility.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, based on the positive recommendations, make a motion to approve.
Okay, great.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is D9. This is Kyle Olson from Star Laundromat, 390 Metacom Avenue. This is a request for a public laundry license.
Kyle here.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E1. This is notification of name change for Alicia Saldana, the Collie Corporation, 34 Gooding Avenue. And it's going from Collie Corporation doing business as Collie Kitchen to Collie Corporation doing business as Mr. Tito.
This just says receive and file?
We just move to receive and
What's-
file.
Just,
That's correct. There's no requirement for council approval where it's simply a name change as opposed to a stock transfer. If this was a stock transfer, it'd be different. But for a name change, it's simply on the agenda as a courtesy and notice to the council and the public.
Motion to receive and file.
I had that from Mary,
Mary
seconded
first.
by Tim. Is there
Sure.
any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E2. This is the Dancing and Entertainment 26-27 license renewals.
Make a motion to approve based on the positive recommendations.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to approve. Is there any discussion? If you're sitting out there wondering how are you going through all this stuff so quickly, it's because obviously we all did our homework beforehand and most of this is very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's all the recommendations have been very positive. All the homework has been done prior. So if it feels like we're just breezing through it, we are, but we did our homework ahead of time.
And Mr.
Exactly.
Chairman, the pictures in here that they're submitting this time are outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah. We made a change and made that a requirement to better understand where dancing and entertainment is and is not. And that's really helped out a lot. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is E3. This is the public laundry license renewals for 26-27.
And based on all the positive recommendations, make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Mary to approve. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is F2. This is Maria Semiraro Belanca, 43 Bayview Avenue, unit number 2F. This is a request for an accessible parking space in the vicinity of residents. First reading.
Good evening.
Hello.
So I live on Bayview and we already have a parking issue as it is. I think it's one of the streets around our area where it's not for residents only. And since my neighbor left, I took the east spot. And in the past, it was not a big issue for me because my son lived with me and he, used to help me out during my flares or, carry the grocery and do all of that. I have a neurological disability and some days are better than others. But since the new neighbor moved in, it took the space and now I'm back to having issues. Sometimes there is no street parking at all between the students and when there is festivities around, at the church or 4th of July, everybody seems to park on Bayview Avenue. And so I was wondering if I can grant another one where I can have, if it's easier for me to.
Recommendation that we received, this council received from the police department was to deny. And the chief and his department gave us that information. But Chief, could you speak to that, certainly to the applicant and also to the public?
Yes, actually, prior to the meeting, I went by the residence, and as the review from the police department articulates, there is a handicap parking space already allocated on Bayview in front of that residence. And there is an additional handicap in the vicinity at 30 Bayview. Also, further inspection of looking at the property, it's my understanding that it is a 4-unit residential complex. And informally or formally, we've been informed that the owner of that property does not allow tenants to utilize the off-street parking. I can tell you that the driveway is equipped to facilitate those vehicles. And it may be a request by the homeowner. I don't know if he's here, if he could better explain that or the petitioner can. But what has been explained to the police department is they're requesting to park on Bayview Avenue. And she is correct. It is, it is a congested area. That is accurate. However, that residence is equipped, with at least stacking 3 cars in the driveway. It's kind of like for golf terms, it's kind of like a dog right. And you could put another 3 vehicles in as you come to the end. I'm sure it makes it inconvenient when you have 4 different families in one house, who's behind who. So that could be some of the confusion on why they don't allow off-street parking. I don't have that information, but from what we can review, there is ample parking at the residence, and there is ample handicap parking on Bayview Avenue, one in front of the house and one across the way. And as we all know, even if we grant this handicap parking, there's no guarantee that that spot's going to be dedicated,
Right. It belongs
for
to
this petition.
anyone that has a handicap
Yep.
placard.
Yeah.
Sure.
And as you know, I'm not certainly not educating the council. It was more for the petitioner.
No, thank you.
No, I'm glad.
And it's exactly what I asked.
Say that.
Could you just elaborate a bit more? You said, and I'm assuming it was you spoke about the parking that it's not available, but it exists for this address. You're saying, and actually maybe the petitioner
The
can
issue
also.
is that the new person barely leave the house, so it's constantly parked there, the car. And I don't recall seeing another one. Maybe I can drive by and see where the other one is. But the issue with parking in the landlord parking spot, that if I park behind them, then they will not be able to get out. So it will be constantly moving the car in order, you know what I'm saying? If I
Yes.
park,
Yeah.
So if I understand you correctly, you're saying that you get blocked in
yeah,
if
there
somebody
is
else
no
parks in
space
that
for
area.
three to park next to each other. I will have to park behind, so we will have to constantly have to be going down, move the car, put it back in. Makes sense?
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna, they will not.
Just for
approve of
clarity
that.
also, if I may, there are two spots there, as pointed out by the chief. Are both being utilized at the moment?
I don't recall seeing the other one. Maybe when I can go home, I don't
Yeah.
remember, I don't know what the other one is.
Okay.
We should take a look because they're in our recommendations. There are clearly two designated
Right,
spots.
Chief,
So
you mentioned
there
it.
is another one.
Right. You
according
gave an
to
address.
DPW.
Number 30 off
Thank
30.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chief. Mary? You looked like you wanted to say
Oh, I
something.
was gonna say that I find it a little confusing. I was under the impression that there were three people with placards in two spaces. And two handicap spaces out there, and that the tenants weren't allowed to use the driveway, so seems like that becomes an issue, because if people have the placard, they should be able to have like space somewhere. Now, I know it's not guaranteed for them, and I understand the parking situation that is on all of our streets, but the more I'm hearing, so I mean, I'm a little concerned about this, because this is about at least the second, but could be the third time in like a few meetings that we have denied these. And I am curious about how this can be resolved, and it sounds like it's even more confusing now, because I thought when I read through it, that was clear, that clearly there's two, I just thought there was two people and there are three people, but there's two spots. Could we just put this off maybe and try to clarify those points? Like, how many people have placards in that neighborhood? You know, and how many spaces are there? Like in that immediate vicinity, I don't mean the whole like street.
How many of those parking spaces are being utilized? Okay.
Well, how many there are, I mean, how many people have the, yeah.
Or could be
Two
utilized?
people are
Looks
being,
like two.
two of them are being utilized now.
Yeah.
Is there a third? Is she
Gotcha.
the second person that has the placard, or is she the third?
I understand your question. Amy, did you want to share something?
Well, I don't know if the chief can, is the police department able to look up who has a handicap placard?
It'd be my first in 40 years of contacting the DMV and asking them to do some type of a geo tracking in that area to see who actually has a permit,
Fair enough.
to that location. Some folks have it and they pick up people, and they use it. So I'd have to research that in my 40 years of doing this. I've never heard of anyone tracking the neighborhood to see who or what potential number of handicapped people, are in that general zone, but I'm open to ask.
I hear the question.
It may be
as-
confidential information
Well,
that
there
we're
was-
not entitled to as
I'm
well.
not- I'm not asking for that level of information. I'm not, like, if there are two spaces and no one has come forward to say, hey, I don't need that one anymore. So let's assume there's two people that have the handicap. Is this person, this resident, one of those two? And that, or is she the third that has that and is asking for a space because none of the other two spaces are ever available? So we could.
But also, Mary, I don't think she's aware there's another one available. There's another handicap. That's also, I think, yeah.
Because it's like, must be across the street and a little bit, down the street a little bit.
I can work with the clerk to see who, applied for the one at 30. We can backtrack it in town indices, to see when that was approved. I'm sure we have a record.
We do. We have a record of anybody who's applied for those ADA spaces.
Yeah, we could see if that's still, active, inactive.
What I hear are questions that we're not ready to, at least this council. Maybe we can continue this to the next meeting, get some clarity on all that's been expressed thus far. Who applied for them, right? Exactly what you said, Mary.
That's what I said.
So,
But if I
so
can,
as Mary said, let's continue
But-
to the.
But I also want to bring up the point that the landlord, where it sounds like the parking, there's ample parking, but there's like this checkerboard mishmash of,
yeah, it's not,
it's terrible parking where you have
Yeah.
to pull out, you have to pull in.
we have a
So
lot
that
of issue
needs to
when
get, that needs to get addressed, because even if we add more accessible parking spots, they're public for everybody, but at the same time, it's now not going to still straighten out what the the master problem is working with that landlord and getting that parking figured out so you guys can all park there in harmony.
And that's
Yeah.
certainly not,
Um,
that's not something that the council
that's
would,
what I'm
or the
understanding.
town would get involved
True,
in because it's
Yeah,
private
but I,
property.
that's not gonna
Whether or
happen.
not, if
I'm
there's room,
telling
maybe
you.
there's like a edging or bushes that he can make at least two side by side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when there
To
is
me, that's what I'm seeing as the master problem here. We gotta solve that
Mhm.
rather than adding
Yeah,
more
because I think it's
spaces
fair to
down
ask
the road.
a tenant to like be interrupted every few minutes that somebody's going in and out.
No, when there is a snow ban, we have a lot of issue because we have to park in there and it's constantly moving. She's not, she lives, she's part of the, she lives.
She's
in the
a
same
tenant
building.
there? You're a
Yeah,
tenant?
she,
Thank you.
I don't know if she can add to the problem that we face because when I come home, anytime after 6 p.m., there is no parking whatsoever for me, not even, and like I said, before I just dealt with it because my son used to park the car and drop me off and did that. Now he's in college, so that's why I'm having an issue now because it's just me. And it becomes harder when I have a flare and when it's snowing and it's really, really hard. I mean, I tried, I qualified many years ago, but I never bothered because I had the extra help and I let, the neighbor use it. But when the neighbor was not there, it was always empty. I never seen anybody use the spot other than him. So I can see where the other one is located. I don't recall seeing another one, but
I'm going to ask you to come up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Claire Demarest, and I live at 43 Baby.
Thank you.
And I do not have a handicap permit. But I park there, and when I'm driving down the street, to look to park, there are no spaces on the street. Not just that maybe, at the other end, 30 would be fairly close. There are no spaces on the street. And sometimes going around to Wood Street, you might find something, but then during, the semesters when the college is in session, there are none. We live, the houses right near us have 6, 7 tenants living in there, and many of them, more of them now than ever, have cars. And they simply pull up and just pull in front of the house. They don't ever park in the handicap spot. The other thing that I'd like to mention is that Maria, there was another tenant in our house, and he had the handicap spot, and he recently left, and a new tenant moved in. In the meantime, Maria had taken the handicap spot in front of the house, but it was the new tenant who came in, more or less parked there, and it doesn't really go anywhere. So the car is pretty much parked there all the time. So basically, now the summer coming, it will be people coming up from the shoreline for the concerts and so forth, and they park up and down the street. Sometimes it's absolutely impossible to park even close to in the neighborhood. And, if you're in a situation with a handicap, with a, disability of any sort.
Has the landlord designated a spot? If there's all these spots, when you rent an apartment, is there a parking spot that goes along with that
No.
apartment? Or it's a free for
What
all?
is designated is that
It should
when
be.
there's a snowstorm, we are all allowed to park in the driveway, which, by the way, is incredibly narrow, very, very narrow and hard to get in and out of. At the end, there are 2 spaces that allow the car to sort of turn left, turn right, and 2 cars, the 2 landlord cars will park there. There are 5 cars in our building. And even during a snowstorm, it's very, very difficult because they're very good people to live with. I mean, they're very good. They keep it clear and so forth, but I think it would be just disastrous unless they were able somehow to widen it. I don't know how that.
Mr. Administrator.
Yeah, I've taken a few looks at 43 Bayview Avenue. Every time I went by, there was an ADA space that was occupied right in front of the residence. Down at number 30, it's a little ways away. And I've seen a car parked there also. But it is kind of unrelated and disconnected from 43. So I would exclude 30. But we can certainly check to make sure that the petitioner still wants it there. But looking at the driveway and how it's explained from the tenants, the driveway is just an access. It's not used for parking. And if you go on the Google Earth, you can see there's clearly two spaces behind the house where a person could get in and out. Considering it's 4 units, I have to listen to the testimony. And if there are 2 placards from that building where there's 4 units, I don't see why we wouldn't reconsider and maybe recommend two spaces on the road. 4 residents, 2 parking in the rear, 2 ADA spaces out front.
Why don't we, so it was proposed that Mary, I'll give Mary the credit on this one. Just having fun with you. That we continue this. So we'll take a second bite of the apple on this and take a look again. Thank you for your testimony, I guess we'll call it. And we'll take a look at it again. Our next meeting will be on July 29th. So I'm assuming that we'll come back with a possible different recommendation here on a second look at this. And so
I have to look at home immediately because my mom's not well. So I might have to be here for the meeting.
you may come home to a great new parking space, right? So it could be kind of neat. And yeah, not today. But just for the record, you didn't say otherwise. But remember, this is available to anybody with a placard, right? Yeah. So and understand, and actually that's also part of the law, right? That they can stay as long as someone can park with a placard as long as they need to. So yeah, and you didn't say otherwise, but I just want to make sure that everyone understands that it's available to everyone.
Yeah,
that's all.
And we talked about, me and you, we talked about this, we make sure that we both agree that whether comes first in case. I'm wondering if I could just ask about.
Can you turn your mic on?
They say the person, oh, my mic's on. If the person who's living there who uses that handicap spot rarely leaves, is what I heard. If that's the case, why can't that person maybe go in the back of the driveway and then he or she, if they need the placard, could keep the placard the permit with them. So if they go out with, they can make plans to get their car out themselves. But if they go out with like a relative or a friend, they can bring the placard with them for their car. I mean, just another option if you're saying that person very rarely goes out.
They can move to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they move to the back, grab the spot that, it's, if they never move their car, that would free up the spot for you. You'd be all set.
Either of the cars in the back are permitted for handicap parking, so they would not be able to park on the front.
So I'll tell you what, we'll take a look. We'll take another look, and we can't, and nor should we be able to tell a landlord or anyone how they can park or not park there. I think you're just hearing some great ideas and some possible conversation that could happen.
Yeah, the landlords are constantly in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll take a second look at this. We'll talk about this again on the 29th. It feels, at least by the conversation thus far, that we may have a different recommendation, but let's give everybody an opportunity to take a look at it again. You don't need to be here to take the next step. Your petition has started the process.
Very good. I appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we have a motion to continue the 29th?
Motion to continue to the 29th meeting.
There's no doubt it's very difficult to park downtown. I mean, I drove around a good half an hour the other night. I live downtown too, and this time of year is even worse. And in their case, I know that big building you have at the bottom of Bayview is lots and lots of students in there. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. So we had a motion and a second with and included in the dialogue, Madam Clerk.
I just have a question. So for that motion, are you going to just continue to July 29th or continue with first reading? So that way, if it is adopted in July 29th,
I love your
then
proactive approach.
that way you don't have to come back for a
let's
third
go
meeting.
with
I would
was
say first
just gonna
reading.
continue it just until we get all the analysis. I don't have enough information to go with a first reading unless you
Tim's
guys-
motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I
I mean.
Okay.
We can-
That's fine.
this is-
I just wanted to clarify the,
This is dialogue. So,
Yeah.
and if we advertise it as first reading and choose not to, then we do not have to move forward, just so you know.
Right.
So
Okay.
but Tim, it
Totally.
was your motion.
Yeah, I'll go ahead we'll go with the first reading then.
Okay.
If we don't, again, the analysis approves, no harm, no foul, we don't have enough analysis,
Right.
then we'll just not go forward with it. Perfect.
Okay, so motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to continue the 29th, include advertising as a first reading, and also include relooking at this, we'll say, a second bite of the apple to see if there's a new recommendation. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Have a safe trip to Italy.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, the next item on the agenda is G1. This is the Historic District Commission. This is for three-year terms set to expire July 2029 and one 3-year term unexpired. That's for second auxiliary. And that position is set to expire July 2027. We have Ben Bergenholz with interest in reappointment, Susan Church also with interest in reappointment, and Christopher Ponzer also with interest in reappointment.
Motion to reappoint all three applicants.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron to reappoint all three applicants. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
That's the end of the.
It is, and I was just going to say that we very much appreciate our boards and commissions. I got a call from a local TV station. They're doing a focus on each community, talking about their strengths and the kind of hidden gems, such and so forth. And at the beginning of the conversation that I had with them, they asked me what made Bristol most special, and I said, our people. And I specifically called out the volunteerism that we have here. And I said, on behalf of the council and the town, it is what makes Bristol such a special place. And this was a wonderful opportunity to share that.
Well,
Thanks.
you'll have to let us know when that's going to be on. Was it on already?
They should let me know. And as soon as I do,
Okay.
I'll tell you. So
The next item on the agenda is I1. This is public notice from CRMC for Jose and Jennifer Canario. 15 Riverview Avenue requires a response by July 2nd.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, to receive and file. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is I2. This is public notice from CRMC. This is Jeffrey and Annie Swinney from 35 Brookwood Road. This is requires response by July 2nd, 2026.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is K1. This is the Bristol County Water Authority Tri-Town Monthly Report for May 2026.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Motion made by Tim, seconded by Aaron, as stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
And the next is the executive session. And I don't know if it'll be canceled. Maybe.
The next item on the agenda is the executive session pertaining to the Town of Bristol versus the Transportation Security Administration, the litigation over the Mount Hope Bridge, which has been reported in the media. This afternoon, I sent the memo, the council a memo to update you on the status. And I can say, because it's a matter of public record, a deadline has been extended for the defendants to July 10th. Unless the council has any questions, we could forego the executive session.
Does anybody would like executive session?
It's pretty clear to me with Amy's memo.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we're going to forego. So that means we've gone through the whole agenda. I just need a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Wow.
Motion made by Mary, seconded by Tim.
Quick.
And normally there isn't discussion, but on behalf of the council and the town of Bristol, happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.